What's good, folks? Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today we continue with vampires and the DC heroes. And if you don't want to get lost to the source, go check out my previous videos. Now, let us step into this bloody world, because the men of magic had a plan. Oh, do not forget to subscribe. It helps me grow. And honestly, you would want to be here. I drop videos every single day. Our story begins with John Constantine and Damien, who is a vampire now. For those of you who do not know, Damien was transformed by his own brother. Nightwing turned on him, made him a creature of darkness. But that is no different than what Damien usually is. He is the darkness itself. Following John Constantine on his away mission, they went to the House of Mysteries. And funny enough, Felix Faust was at the door. Remember when I told you there ain't no supervillains no more? Just the dead and the living. And in this very room, the magic was electrifying. The Phantom Stranger, the Spectra, Dr. Fate, and now Constantine. All of DC's A-list magic users in one room. And they were trying to cure vampirism. But Victor Zsasz, who is now a vampire, found this to be torture. And at that moment, this vampire they had tested on expired. They needed a new one. And it seemed like he was going to do. Because yeah, this was dangerous, this was unsafe, this was mean. But it was still the only hope they had left against a world that is fully taken over by vampires. And at the same time, John Constantine was handling shady business in the dark. Damien noticed. He made a note of it. Now back at the hero base, Canary could hear them talking on the opposite side of the wall. It was John and Green Arrow itself, you see. Green Arrow sent John to get something for him, and he did, but he was not allowed to tell nobody. So when he saw Canary, he had to leave. Canary, on the other hand, was going to ask her man. She's not a fan of lies. She also knew the type of man he was. And when he sets his mind to do something, he is going to do it. Human beings are literally being raised like cattle. I cannot sit back and form plans when that is going on. Could you just trust me, pretty bird? And she did. Honestly, she didn't come here to stop him. She came here to say goodbye. And they did. But as quickly as things fall into place, things fall apart. Someone had found the House of Mysteries. You see, vampires also had the bright idea to turn magic users. So now they had a group of magic users for themselves. And they wanted blood. Led by Jason Blood. The ray of hope was slowly disappearing from the world. Even the Atom had to watch over Supergirl. She was in a really high place and she didn't have her abilities no more. She had to be careful. He thought she was trying to harm herself, but she wasn't. She was just going through a lot and wanted to be alone. So he understood and left her. Later that night though, we follow the exploits of Nightwing. You see, he was the king of the vampires, and he was constantly feeding on his beloved Starfire. This is not the Dick Grayson we know and love. This man was evil. Matter of fact, he knew Batgirl was in this room. When she attacked, he embraced her. Matter of fact, he kissed her. This was demonic as hell. But low-key, she was asleep. This was a dream. But even as she woke up, she could still sense danger, and someone was here. She reacted quickly, only to see, after switching on the lights, that this someone was John Constantine. His body was fucked up. It was charred, burnt. She wanted to know who did this, but he didn't know. The person did it and made sure to burn his mind. He tried to remember his step. I was somewhere, and then I felt pain. I saw pain, a river of bloodshed. I saw it. I can't just remember where. Batgirl was still confused, but John stopped her. You need to go kill that prick. Kill him for me. Kill him for what he did to my world. I need you to do this. And she accepted, but she was going to need a guide. So she went to go get Harley Quinn. But these psychopaths didn't even give a damn. They wanted to keep Harley and keep torturing her. These were killers, like regular hand-to-God actual murderers from Gotham. Batgirl can forgive, but she doesn't forget. You do not tell me no. I'm taking Harley. But the thing is, they have Frankenstein to protect them. So as soon as they commanded it, the Frankenstein roared to life and attacked Batgirl. Now we forget, because we see all the other Robins shine, Batgirl was still the shit. She was fighting a behemoth and Frankenstein, and was still fighting all the good doctors by herself. She was deadly. Like with every punch, she was hitting gold. But the funniest part came after, because just as she freed Harley, madness was supposed to flow into this place. The fight raged on, Batgirl versus Frankenstein, and it was close. One of the scientists thought to strike her at the back, but Harley was awake, and she promised, I was going to crush your skull. Now, stay still. Barbara was going to let this happen, but she had a mission to complete, and she needed Harley. Matter of fact, not just Harley, she got Canary as well. The girls were stepping out, but before they could go, Frankenstein stopped them. It was time for him to atone for his sins, so he offered his sword, his services to protect them, because they were going to need protection. But not just them, because Supergirl already set off on her mission to get into orbit and activate her powers again. But the seas were not as safe as they thought, because Black Manta noticed some creatures crawling on board. They had to stand and fight, and they did. It was awesome. I mean, still was going crazy, but this was still the ocean. He had to be careful. Thankfully, he had Black Manta to watch his back. Sadly, nobody was watching Supergirl's back. She was about to die, but these guys had support and they didn't know it. From the assailant's chest, we see a water tiger rip out his heart. It was one of the Wonder Twins. You see, she had followed just because she knew this mission was important and she has experience killing vampires. Accepting a hint to the team, it was time to head out. Two parties setting off on a mission. Batgirl, Harley Quinn, Canary, and Frankenstein had to go end Dick Grayson. Green Arrow had to go free the people being trapped and used as food, while Supergirl, and Steel, and Black Manta had to get to orbit. All three went terribly wrong. Stick around so we can watch them unfold together, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. God bless.